Hey, good afternoon. It is Wednesday, June 29. We're at the end of another month, and we're so grateful. We're so grateful for life. We're so grateful for our family, for our friends. We're so grateful for the Universal Center of Truth for Better Living and for the Universal Foundation for Better Living. And this month that we've celebrated as UFBL month, UFBL is our parent organization. We're so grateful for the idea of Johnny Coleman that founded UFBL in 1974. And although she's not here on the earth plane, we in 2022 can still be benefiting from the idea that she had. And so too, it is our purpose and it's our design to plant ideas that those that come behind us can continue to benefit from. And one of those ideas that we're talking about today that we can plant is the idea of trusting life. The idea of surrendering to the process. Life is orderly. One of the qualities, the attributes of God is order. The Bible says order is the first law of heaven. And so, in this trusting process, the ability to trust life is from the space that we know that things are orderly working. We say it this way: all things are working together for good. And we can even go a step further to say all things are working together for the highest good and the highest good of all concerned. Because the universe is orderly. It happens in order. We sometimes are out of order, and sometimes we don't understand what the order is, but it's still operating in order. We don't get up and make the sun shine, we don't get up and make the rain fall or do any of that, as powerful as we think we are. There's a process, and we're being asked to trust the process. Trust the process of life sometimes. In theater, when you are learning a routine or when you're trying to study a character in drama, you're required to trust the process. You're required to allow the character to lead you as opposed to you trying to bring yourself and your own ideas and concepts. You're supposed to assume a particular kind of stance and operate as it. And today, that's what we're talking about. Of course, we're using our daily Inspiration for Better Living, which is our signature publication that's available in our bookstore at 15 Collins Green Avenue, or it's available online at ufbl.org, that you can get. This month's writings is by our senior minister of our church out of Miami Gardens, Florida, Universal Truth Center, the Reverend Charles Taylor. And he has been blessing us with his inspiration. And today he has chosen the topic of trusting life. And he says, as a teacher, one of the things I see is the failure of people to trust life. Unmasking is the spiritual path. It's not about creating new masks, not even spiritual masks. It is about going from being a worldly person. It says not about going from being a worldly person to a spiritual person or trading a materialistic ego for a spiritual ego. It is about sinking into yourself, your own nobodiness, and allowing difficulty to strip you of your somebodyness. Then you can do away with the masks of your persona. And spiritually speaking, this is exactly what we want, to remove the masks of limitation. Sometimes we take them off willingly, sometimes they fall away, and sometimes they are torn off by life itself. So this whole process of life, he's suggesting, this whole process of spirituality and of growth is not about becoming holy or becoming righteous. It's about allowing your real full self to come forth. And sometimes that means the stripping away of some of what we have learned and heard and practiced over a period of time. And some of it, not all of it, may be labeled as good, but it's only in the identification of who you really are, of all the things, whether you label them good, bad, or indifferent, of all the flaws and all the goodness, that you're able to get to the real you. And that is the process of becoming. That's the process of being, which is what we're being called to do. That's the process of trusting life. So sometimes things are not going well. It seems like the whole world is turning upside down, and we wonder what is happening. You know, I'm doing my prayer work, I'm going to church, I'm doing this, but things are not happening the way I want it to happen. It seems like, you know, we say in Jamaica, everywhere you turn, makajuk you. And that is simply saying that there's a process that is happening of unearthing all that is, so that all that is to be can come forth. It's that process of trusting life. You know, you have to peel away until you get to that beautiful diamond. You have to chisel away until you get to that diamond. And in the chiseling away, there's nothing bad or wrong in it. It's just a part of the process. And so we begin to ask ourselves, where am I trusting the process and where am I not trusting the process? Where am I too eager? You know, we're in an era where we want things right away. Things must happen now. And that is all well and good. There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes there's a process. There's a process, and we have to allow the process to take place. We have to be guided to the action that we must take, and we must be able to trust that things are always working. Reverend Charles says it's a matter of authenticity and of the capacity to trust life. Even if life has been tremendously tough, it is stopping right where you are and entering profound listening, availability, and openness. If you feel wonderful, you feel wonderful. If you feel lost, you feel lost. We must find that capacity to trust ourselves and trust our life, all of it, whatever it is, because that is what allows the light to shine and our most authentic self to arise and be about the Father's business. So we're being called all the time to trust life, to trust the process. Even if it hurts, even if we cry, even if we don't know what the steps are to take, things are always unfolding in an orderly way. And so we must welcome all of it. We must not only welcome the wonderful things, but we must know, as we always say, there's good in everything. There's good in everything. And so our job is to be looking for that good, despite what is showing up. So where is the good in this? Where is, if God is good and good is everywhere, and God is everywhere, and good is all that there is, in this midst of seeming chaos or this seeming evil, where is the good? And that is what we're called to do. Will you trust? Will you let go? Will you stand on the word? That's what we're being asked. And Donnie McClurkin says it well in his song, I Trust You, Lord. Will you let go? What if you call and no one is there, no one answers? Will you still trust? Yes, your answer should be, trust God.
I know that faith is easy when everything is going well. But can you still believe in me when your life's a living hell? And when all the things around you seem to quickly fade away, there's just one thing I really want to know. Will you let go? I'll trust you, Lord. Will you stand on my word? I'll trust you, Lord. Against all odds, will you believe what I have said? I'll trust you, Lord. What seems impossible, I'll trust you, Lord. Will you believe? I'll trust you, Lord. Every promise that I made, will you receive? Yes, I will trust you, Lord. life came to end, and when they had to leave, you said you'd never love again. But will you trust that I can help you, and I'll never turn away? Will you trust me, child, no matter come what may? Will you let go? What if you cry? What if it doesn't work the first time that you try? What if you call my name and don't feel the need? Will you still believe in me, or will you feel? Oh yes, oh yes, oh Lord, I will say, yes, I will trust you. Everything I'm going through, I'm gonna trust you, yeah. Say, I will trust you. I will trust you. No matter what I'm going through, I will trust you. Yes, I will, yes, I will, yeah. Say, I will trust you, yeah. I will trust you. In all of my hurt, I will trust you. Yes, I will, yes, I will, yeah. Say, I will trust you. Yes, I will, yes, I will, yes, I will, yes, I will, yes, I will. I will trust you. Say, I will trust you. I will, yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, yes, I will. Yes, I will. Oh, yes, I will. Say yes, yes, I will trust you. No matter how the road may seem, yes, I will trust you. Yes, I will trust. I'm gonna put my faith in you. Gonna put my trust in you. Lead me all the way. Oh, yes, I will trust you, Lord. Say, yes, I will trust you, Lord. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Lord.
You know, as I listen to this music being played, I'm reminded of so many things happening personally. And sometimes you don't understand the choices people make. You don't understand some of the circumstances you find yourself in. You don't understand some of the things that just seem to come out of nowhere. But in all of it, I'm being reminded today that it is a part of the process. It's a part of the process. And if my belief is really and truly that all things are working together for my highest good and for the highest good of all concerned, then my task is to trust. My task is to trust the process. My task is to keep my trust and keep my eyes singular. What do I mean by that? I mean, instead of focusing on what is happening and me not understanding and feeling confused or bewildered or upset or angry or any of that, I can choose to just surrender. I can choose to surrender to the process. And like Jesus did, because Jesus is our way sure, we can say, not my will, but thine be done. We can choose to release. In those overwhelming moments, we have something to do and it just seems overwhelming, it takes over everything. We can say, not my will, but thy will be done. And we know that God's will for each one of us is absolute good. And because we know that God's will is absolute good, that's how we can trust. That's why we can trust. That's why we will trust. Because we know before we were formed in the womb, God said, I knew you. I called you by name. We know Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans I have for you. They are plans to prosper you and not to harm you and to give you a future with hope. And that is why we can trust life. If the plans for me are absolute good, because God is absolute good, and because I'm made in the image and likeness of God, and because God said that the life I've come, that you might have life and have it more abundantly, because I have all of those promises, I can trust. If it hurts, I can trust. If I cry, I can trust. If it doesn't work the first time, I can trust. If I call out and don't feel that anyone is there, I can trust. I can still believe. I am not trusting in the problem. I'm not trusting in the situation. I'm not trusting in the government. I'm not trusting in my partner. I'm not trusting in the business, in the stock market, in the dollar. I'm not trusting in any of that. My trust is in the power and presence of God. My trust is in the promise that was made to me in the beginning. I will keep you in perfect peace. I will keep you in perfect peace if you keep your eyes stayed on me. If you surrender to the process and keep your eyes stayed. What are you going to trust with today? What are you going to do differently? How are you going to trust life a little differently? How are you going to trust your own 12 spiritual powers? How are you going to trust everything that is happening and knowing that it's a part of the process? We must find the capacity, Reverend Charles says, to trust ourselves and to trust our life, all of it. Not some of it, all of it. Those rocky points, those unsure points, those, I don't know what you'd label them as. We have to trust all of it, whatever it is, because that's what allows the light to shine. And our most authentic self to rise and be about the Father's business. So, how are you going to trust? There's a song that says, I will trust in the Lord all my life. I will trust in the Lord and I'll treat everybody right. We're always being called to develop something new. We're always being called to live life to the fullest. How are you going to trust life? How are you going to trust the process? How are you going to trust God? The God in you, not the God outside of you, but the God in you. That's what we're being called to do today. I'm inviting each of you today to look back and see, where am I fighting and struggling against life? Where am I fighting and struggling against the process? Where am I at odds with anyone over anything? And how can I trust? Take my attention and place it in the presence and power of God in me. And see it rightly. See it working rightly. That is our call. That is our task. In Jeremiah 17 verse 7 we read, "Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord and whose trust is in the Lord." Blessed is that man. And that man is you. That woman is you. That man is me. And we're being called all the time to higher standards. All the time we're being called to higher standards. So, when trouble take you, them say, pick me shot fit you. Trust. When things are not seeming to go the way you want it to go, even when they're going the way you want it to go, there's still a process of trust. And you're being called to do that today. I'm seeing your success as we step into the next half of the year. I'm seeing your victory. I'm seeing your goals and your dreams come alive, just as I'm seeing mine come alive. I'm seeing your life prospered. I'm seeing prosperity and abundance flowing in, through, and as you. I'm seeing your relationships healthy and healed and loving. I'm seeing your body filled with all the life energy that you could ever need to be successful. I'm seeing the light of God going before you to make your way smooth, easy, safe, and successful. I'm seeing the love of God enfold you, your family, your friends, your business, and all that concerns you. I'm seeing the power of God protecting you. I'm seeing the presence of God watching over you as it watches over me. Wherever we are, we're knowing that God is, and we're trusting God. We're surrendering our own egos and trusting God. Just for a moment, just trust God. Just trust life. Trust that all things are working together for the highest good of all concerned. All things, not some things, all things. All things are working together for the highest good of all concerned. Say that as often as you wish. All things are working together for the highest good of all concerned. All things are working together for the highest good of all concerned. And because we know this, because we believe this, because we trust this, all is well. Thank you all so much. Thanks to each of you for continuing to join us every Wednesday for Noonday Inspiration, and every other day also for Noonday Inspiration, and on Sundays for a worship celebration. Remember, your life is only as happy and as rich and as successful as you intend it to be, and as you create it to be. And you create it by virtue of how you think, by virtue of what you believe. Your beliefs create your thoughts. Your thoughts are just your beliefs, a systematic way of thinking over a period of time. By what you choose to feel, by how you act and how you react. So, Keep your eyes singular. Keep your eyes stayed on the presence and power of God, and you can't go wrong. Blessings. Thank you so much, and have a great day.